So Samsung has just dropped the first official Android XR headset, the Galaxy XR, but like Apple's Vision Pro, is this new form factor for our favourite mobile OS almost dead on arrival? I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm excited. Yeah, let's get into it. Hey, we sound a little bit negative here, but we do love Android deeply, so hit subscribe and stick around for more content just like this as we approach that 400,000 subscriber margin. Yes, cheers. So while Android XR was announced almost a year ago with teasers and mentions of Samsung's Wuhan development kit, we got to see it in person at MWC, we didn't get to test it, but the delay here might have done some serious damage to how this product is perceived. This is an early adopter item, don't get it twisted. A product for people who are desperate to try a new thing or boast about what they can do in an ordinary mobile phone or they can't do with an ordinary mobile phone, laptop or a tablet. I have a sneaking suspicion that at least right now, interest in this form factor is at a low point. We've seen lackluster sales of the Apple Vision Pro, a new model now that actually usurps Samsung's first foray into this space, and more than a whiff of "why does this exist" being muttered among Android fans, yourself included. The thing is, my biggest gripe with Android XR is merely what it does that really happens to sell it. The most obvious answer is that it's an incredibly immersive way to enjoy content, particularly those 360-degree videos. Platforms like YouTube have been offering VR-style video for almost a decade now. Google Cardboard paved the way, RIP for the OGs out there who know what Google Cardboard is, and there is no doubt a great depth of content out there that this headset, or at least a headset of this ilk, can tap into instantly right away from the day that it arrives on your doorstep. So Android as it is right now is still a heavily app-based platform. We need more developers to jump on board and refine the experience for this new paradigm, but at least applications that do support tablet setups should work with no great issues. I feel this is one of the significant strengths with Android XR and the Galaxy XR headset, but it's also a little bit of a limitation. It is worth noting that Meta and Apple don't necessarily have that set level of base support right out of the box in the same way, so yeah, it's a strength and a weakness at the same time. The thing is, you're not going to do much more than do things like browse the internet, play the odd Android optimized game, or run a plethora of phone-oriented apps. With an Android laptop, computer that's actually in the works, as we know, where does AR fit into that? Maybe over time it does benefit, but for right now it sort of feels shoehorned into this new paradigm, at least a little bit for the sake of it. And in terms of first-party app support, Google is doing their utmost. They're giving us Google Maps support, Google Photos, TV, Meet, Chrome and YouTube. They've all been updated here for Android XR. I think that's great, but it is an expectation rather than a bonus. More developers are going to need to refine their own applications, and just what you can do that hasn't already been tried already, well, I'm actually not sure. It is really murky for right now. The thing is, I'm asking the question, why bother with a headset when you can get a tablet that'll do all but wrap around your face? The size alone does make it a tough sell for most people out there. Apps on your phone are easy to decipher and don't need funky hand gestures to get things done, although those hand gestures do look really good, I must admit. Immersion will be a way in the Android XR, or at least how Android XR endears itself to the platform. Is that enough for most people? I'd wager that lack of real headway made by other players in this space indicates that augmented or mixed reality just isn't enough on its own to capture a sizable portion of the market and be a dominant area for Google or Samsung or anybody else that enters the space. Don't get it twisted though, as a movie theatre experience, I doubt anything can rival a VR XR headset in pure immersion, and I'm excited to try that out for myself. Maybe though as a productivity tool that replaces multiple displays, I can see that people out there will be itching to try it out. But I do think they're really quite niche cases, and especially this puts another thing in focus. The biggest complaint you'll see online or in person over the next few months is about how the Galaxy XR headset has been priced, plus the limited availability in certain regions, as it's not available even here in the UK. At $1,799, they've done well to undercut the most direct competitor in the Apple Vision Pro. However, it comes with some significant downgrades to make that a hard to pallet MSRP a little bit easier to pallet. Firstly, it's a mostly plastic headset, and at around 550 grams, it's not the heaviest. It's the perfect weight reduction and especially important for a headset of this type. Durability should, at least in theory, be decent as well, given how all plastic frames can flex and bend without deforming or breaking. I like that, that's a great decision. The internals though leave a bit to be desired though. A specialist, almost year-old Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2 chip is used in this device, and on paper, the regular XR2 from which this chip was actually based is actually spec for spec below the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 from a couple of years ago. That might not be the most powerful option to run truly high-end experiences, and some level of throttling will be used on this hardware to ensure things don't overheat or consume too much power. You definitely don't want it overheating when it's strapped to your eyeballs, basically. And without having too many experiences that tax the Galaxy XR headset, things might be okay for the kind of things you do right now, but in the future, yeah, you're going to be slowed down by what is available in the here and now. It's also worth noting that Apple's own headset is more than double the price, but it has one of the best integrated processors on the market right now, so there's room for growth there and insane power under the visor itself. Not so much here, which might be problematic for some people, and it might be a reason why you avoid this over other options. Pass-through for existing experiences is where other devices handle the workload, and undoubtedly it could be a strong suit for this, but there are cheaper, similarly solid alternatives on the market that you could choose and still have money left over. The Meta Quest lineup has all of the benefits, a much better support system for people who want gaming experiences, as you get all of the extras as well thrown in, like accessories like a case, controllers, all that kind of jazz, but under $600. The thing is, for me though, 99% of people out there are still going to be better served with a phone and a tablet or even a laptop for less than that $1,799 start point. And that laptop is going to give you access to things that Android, the platform, simply cannot do. Running glorified phone apps in augmented reality in your face isn't exactly going to be all that groundbreaking to some of you, and heck, even a high-end 4K television will provide more years of quality entertainment that you're not bound by with that limited 2-hour battery life, and everybody else can experience it in the same way that the Android XR options just simply can't do. And on top of that, you're bound by Android XR updates and developer support, which, yeah, are a little bit murky in this regard as well. What's more, even foldables at their exorbitant asking prices, sometimes similar than this, a lot of them are priced at around $1,500, you just get more bang for your buck with one of those in your pocket that you can carry with you everywhere without any other hindrance. Yes, this is a somewhat negative outlook, and I appreciate that, but it's more of a question of what the Galaxy XR headset and the full public Android XR launch will do for the average Joe out there. VR glasses haven't exactly flown off shelves, and that won't change now that we have an Android-powered option. That's all I'm trying to say. My very milquetoast take is that, along with many others out there, that when Google unveiled Android XR alongside the AR glasses efforts, there was no denying who the real star of the show was. The potential for a pair of glasses to replace this bulky headset for IRL integration, paired with true contextual awareness of your surroundings and real-time feedback, is something that Google Glass promised but failed to deliver over a decade ago. This form factor makes the most sense for Gemini. It's a key component in the Galaxy XR headset and the key to Android XR's success. You'd be crazy to wear such a large headset out in the waking world without getting people making fun of you, and especially as it has such a poor lifespan. To put it simply, if you didn't get it already, applied Gemini is the goal for this form factor. Samsung's Galaxy XR headset is that first true step in that direction, as it were, and the company naturally very briefly teased those first steps with a pair of glasses at the end of the Galaxy XR keynote. I'm wondering, will they live up to the hype? I'm really hopeful, but not so much for this necessarily halfway house hardware that we're getting, and I'm convinced a lot of you out there feel the same way about Android XR, the Galaxy XR, and potentially other brands out there who broaden their horizons by entering this space. Let me know if I'm right or if I'm wrong, or you don't care either way down in the comment sections below. I'd love to hear from you, but as always, thank you for listening to me ramble about something that I'm a little bit concerned about, but also excited about, but also concerned about. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Thanks for watching. As always though, I'll speak to you later.